Hello and welcome back to the OnlyAccies channel. It's finished here. Hamilton won, St Johnstone won. Accies yet again, conceding another very late goal, and that cost us 3 points tonight. Brandon, I'll come to you first, mate. I'm assuming me and you are in agreement. Substitutions are what ruined the game. Same against Ross County, and it's the same again tonight.
Seems a recurring theme. Just constantly saying the same thing. Whenever it's not a positive result, we always tend to be saying it's that famous game management that we always talk about. I'm just a bit scunnered, to be honest with you. I think you saw the players' reactions at the end. They were all a bit scunnered as well. They were all raging, which can be a good thing going forward. We're on a wee bit of a high. We had a bit of a blip with Hibs because it wasn't something that was really our own fault with the red card. And then we thought we were going to get the 3 points there. Game management's fucked us. I suppose in hindsight, you could say if Scott McMahon plays a better pass, and we keep attacking them, they don't have that attack against us. But that's hindsight, I suppose. But we're inviting them on to us enough as it is without making the changes that we made.
Yeah.
They were pressing us persistently since they made the double substitution. So by making the subs in which he did and changing the way in which a full team's set up with 5 minutes to go, that is fucking criminal. That is just outrageous. But as what it is, I suppose before the game, if you said I'd get a point, I'd probably be fairly happy with it. But I know we've ruined it for ourselves there.
Yeah, David. Before I come to you, I agree with Brandon. I think the Ronan Hughes for Scott Martin, I can understand. Obviously, Scott Martin's injury needs to come off. Ronan Hughes comes on. It's the Ben Sterling one that gets me. Charlie Trafford, I get it, is knackered, but to me, you do not change that back line with 5 minutes to go. Like, Adolfin has been excellent in the back line. I can understand the mentality of putting back into the midfield because that's where he's strongest, but if he's doing so well in a back line and you're trying to hold on for a win, you're holding on to a 1-0 draw, you don't change that.
Don't change the way a team's set up with 5 minutes to go. That's just...
You don't do that at all. And it also highlights to me the weakness of our squad. I mean, when you're bringing Ben Sterling on to shore up your defence, you're in serious trouble. Serious trouble if Ben Sterling's the player you turn to. So it's just so disappointing because I was sitting there thinking 5 minutes to go. I'm sitting there going, all right, we hold this out. We 1-0 win, moves us off the bottom of the table. That's another thing that, it's not just 3 points dropped. It keeps us bottom. Do you know what I mean? This was our chance to go up to 10th again. It's infuriating. David, what are your opinions on those substitutions? Because I have a funny feeling you disagree, actually.
No, I mean, I think subs had to be made. I mean, I agree with what you're saying with Ben Sterling. He's yet to kind of prove what he adds to the table. I do think Trafford was absolutely fucked. So I think changing him, keeping it fresh, is the right thing to do. But like you said, the way Hakeem was just clearing anything that came near him, I'd have kept him in the back. It's easy to say once subs are made and we've lost the lead that the subs cost us a game, but at the same time, it could easily happen if you have an absolutely fucking knackered guy on the pitch.
It's easy to say that, but when it happens, fucking week in, week out, when we do get beat, then...
No, I get that, man. No, I do get it, but I think subs did have to be made. I think Ben Sterling wasn't necessarily the right one. I would actually have had George Steyer on before. If you're making a change to the back line. But like you said, I wouldn't have moved Hakeem.
The goals came for a route one ball up the park in between the centre back that you've just brought on and the centre back that's been solid all match with the partner that's been moved out of position with 5 minutes to go. That just sums up that it's the sub that's made us lose. Simple as that.
I mean, I agree. I think I wish there was a better.
I say lose, sorry, draw, sorry.
No, but
it just feels like a loss.
Points, it does. You're absolutely right. It feels like a loss after that. I've yet to see like a proper replay of it. The replay wasn't totally clear. I do think that maybe all three defenders switched off because it's a quick free kick. So I do think maybe all three defenders switched off. But you're absolutely right, Brandon. It's a long ball pinged to a defender who I think would have headed that away all day, every day.
The only time you change the way in which a team is set up with small amount of period to go is when you're chasing a game and you're piling players on to fucking go for a game. You don't change the way you're defensively set up when you're winning a game. That's just setting yourself up for disaster, and that's what's happened. It's annoying because if you've got a better depth in squad, then you can possibly have poor game management because they'll cover the subs you're bringing on will be able to cover and they'll be able to sort of perform. But because the game management's that poor, as well as the people you're actually bringing on, it's just a disaster waiting to happen. And it's been shown time and time again that it's ultimately what looks to be sending us down.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was touching on when I was talking about the squad depth. If you're relying on people like Ben Sterling and Ronan Hughes to either win your game or sure one up, you're not going to get far.
See on Ronan Hughes, there was a moment when we were attacking him and we were about to get a corner and he elbows the player
It's a silly foul.
Away a silly foul. It's just over the period of 90 minutes, a point probably is the fair result, but it's just the manner in which it's happened. It's fucking annoying.
Yeah. We will talk about some of the positives. As you said, there are some to take. I mean, David, Ross Callahan's goal to give us the lead. Unbelievable strike. Very much against the run of play. And for a long time, again, it looked like that was going to be the winner. What a goal that was.
Aye, brilliant. It's like what we've said over the last few weeks when we spoke about Ross Callahan. The guy's played for much bigger clubs. But like I said previously, with the kind of Tony Andrew effect when we found him, he's definitely found his club with us. He's playing the best football. He's played the confidence to actually take that shot on. Like, no, we don't have another player that probably would have attempted that, maybe out with Anderson. It was a brilliant goal. It was great because we weren't playing amazing at that point. We were being dominated, I think, in possession. Yep. So it was, like I said to you before we started recording, it was nice to not be on the receiving end of that for a change, where you're putting the effort in and then fall behind. We got the lead and then we did well afterwards, up until the last 10. But no, it was a brilliant goal.
We will talk about Bruce Anderson because, again, I thought the second half he was fantastic today. He was doing the work of two strikers. You know, trying to win the first ball and get to the second.
I don't think you can discredit Moyle though.
This is what I was leading to, because I saw you on Facebook coming out and defending Moyle with a lack of.
Because it's the usual sort of Accies scapegoat that we always talk about. Because we started off the game shite, who can we pin out and who can we blame for as a collective team being shite? So we pinned Moyle. Balls were getting flew at the start of the game, absolute hoof the balls up to nowhere, and you're expecting Moyle, because he's taller at the two strikers, to go and win it. That is completely unfair, Moyle. When Accies started to come into the game a wee bit, Moyle and balls were actually played to Moyle's feet, and even balls that were remotely close to Moyle, he was winning them. I don't think you can fault Moyle's performance there. I think for the criticism he's came under, and people were questioning if he's going to be able to sort of replace Augie's boots in the coming weeks. I don't think he done anything wrong in that game. I'm not just saying that because I've stuck up for Moyle in the past. I genuinely thought Moyle done an okay game, and he was certainly not one of the worst players in that park.
I think he played well. I think he everything that Brandon's saying spot on. Like, some of the times he is a scapegoat. Like, you
don't get me wrong, majority of the time he usually is honking.
Aye.
But I think that game there, you can't criticise him that game. The start of the game, people were criticising him because they just wanted to criticise MD. I don't think you can criticise him there. What Ben was touching on with Anderson is Anderson played the role of about 5 players that game there, but Anderson was phenomenal. I think the commentators said it's spot on. He probably had his best game, despite no scoring or contributing to the sort of he assisted the goal, sorry. So I think that was probably Anderson's best game. He was everywhere and anywhere. He was extremely confident on the ball. He was brilliant, but I don't think you can discredit Moyle for that game, or well, you can't have a go at him for us not winning.
Looking ahead to our next game on Saturday, Bruce Anderson will not be there. Aberdeen against Accies. It's gutting not to have him in the team, but it's something we just have to put up with, unfortunately. do you start Andy Winter? Do you start Callum Smith? Do you change and go for one striker up top and stick with Moyo? David, I'll come to you first this time. What would you do in that Aberdeen game?
I honestly don't know. I think what he will do is play Andy Winter. How do you replace Anderson the way he's been playing? It's going to be a tough game
And
because
that's
like
what makes it all so much more frustrating, the fact that we've not took the 3 points there, because we're going up here without so many pivotal players, and especially Anderson being the main one. We're going there with our first our 2 strikers no available, so it just makes that result there even so much more annoying.
I mean, you look at the other game that weekend, Ross County Killie. This was an opportunity for us to sit in 10th, move Kelly to bottom. I wouldn't have gave us any massive, gap between the two.
No,
but
but it gives you the
it would have put us
confidence.
in, no, that's aye. It would have put us in a much better position, and it puts so much more pressure on that game now. Brandon, what about you? What would you do against Aberdeen?
I don't know, play a Dolphin up front. I think it doesn't really matter, because if we're winning the game, he's just going to fucking make stupid substitutions, and we're not going to actually get over the line anyway. So I don't know. Oil and Winter just fucking sitting tight and be like what we were at the very start of when we sort of stopped leaking goals in, and just hope for 1 or 2 chances and hope that they don't take advantage of one of the 20 shots they're going to get. I don't for a second don't believe that Brian Rice is an excellent coach. He's had a great career, both as a player and as a second in command. He's clearly usually in charge of the coaching. This has been his first actual job in control, and his full tenure, especially this season, his in-game management has cost us so many points. So it's sheer naivety, and it's annoying. It's annoying.
It's as if we're missing the one guy in front of him when he's about to say, right, let's get a Dolphin into the midfield. Hold on a fucking minute. Just leave him where he is.
Exactly. Just somebody to say, you stop being an absolute idiot and just fucking.
It's as if the guy's like too, like, don't know, man. Maybe he's like too passionate, or he's getting carried away with himself, and like.
You think you'd learn with the amount of mistakes you're constantly with folk like me constantly saying in-game management's what costing us. It clearly is, and it's.
Yeah, I think that's what's getting me so much is surely he sees that it's these substitutions that are causing the problems. Like surely you have it in your head in that situation when you're sitting 1-0 up and you're thinking, right, Sterling on a Dolphin. Surely part of you goes, hold on, I did a substitution like this against Ross County. It completely fucked us.
I mean,
like, surely that comes into your head. We will end on some positive news, a positive rumour we're hearing. Brian Rice has came out in the press before the game and said that Akima Dolphin is in talks with the chairman, him and his agent, and Brian Rice expects an announcement to be made. Now listen, we've heard that before from Brian Rice. We've heard things from Brian Rice that have turned out not to be true. This would be a huge one to sign a Dolphin because, like we've said in the podcast there, we imagine vultures are circling and we imagine he'll have other offers. Brandon, I know you are a little bit sceptical given it's Brian Rice, he's coming and saying it, but you have to say, what an incredible announcement that would be to get midweek or something.
No, it'd be phenomenal, and it would hopefully the damper that we're sort of feeling now, if they came out and brought that out before Saturday, I'm sure it would lift everybody's sort of confidence and get the sort of feel good factor back in the sort of Accies camp, both fans and players, if that came out and get announced. So if you're listening, please do that, because everybody's feeling extremely scunnered now. But I think you need to take it with a pinch of salt, like you've said. There's been a lot of things like we're promised we were definitely signing 3 players in January there. That didn't happen. He said a lot of stuff that's been complete bullshit. So until it actually happened, and until it comes from possibly a credible source, should I say?
Yeah.
Then I won't look too much into it. A Dolphin came out and says he literally about a couple of days before that he didn't want to get involved in that sort of conversation. So Rice has came out and said that. So fingers crossed it's true, and if it is true, it's massive. But I'll wait till it's actually confirmed.
And just before we finish up, as always, a few tweets to read out from you guys. Stephen D said at the start of the game, this was one of the worst set of subs we've ever had. This is the problem caused when you need fresh legs, but the fresh legs are simply not good enough. Moyo once again does nothing other than miss a decent chance and give the ball away, get him out the door. George Gardner says, got to question the decision to alter the back three with 5 minutes of regulation time left. If you've got robust defenders to bring on and shore things up, I can understand, but Stirling does not fit that description. Rice is up for scrutiny on that one. I think we can all agree on that. Gavin Baxter, someone asked Rice about that sub. No need to unsettle defence in midfield, and the Rice sub cost us points yet again. He never learns. And finally, Nathan says, played fine until the goal. You can understand why Rice is putting on a defender and moving it off into the midfield, but when it's Ben Stirling, why bother? Couldn't keep up with a striker who played the whole game and just raises his hand. Moyo plays with zero thrive to get in the box. And finally, Aki's Life said Ben Stirling came on 6 minutes to go when it off him, was probably man of the match in that defence. Shifted up, team reshuffled, and then the team are unsettled way too late into the game, and absolutely terrible management, in my opinion. But thank you all very much for watching. We'll be back after the Aberdeen game on Saturday. We hope you all enjoy it, and we shall see you then.